You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Friday, April 10th. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Johnny, imagine wanting something so badly you stop eating until you get it. Well, that's our top story today. Today, community members are demanding action to shut down a trash burning plant in North Minneapolis by going on a hunger strike. Our Connor White has more from Minneapolis on why the group feels this issue is such an important one. You'll also hear from Joshua Lewis, a resident who is going on the hunger strike.
The importance for them comes down to their health in their community. They're so concerned, those living close to this trash burning facility, that some are even willing to go on hunger strike. Protesters gathering at the Hennepin County Government Center in downtown Minneapolis. 4 of them are now officially starting that hunger strike, meaning they plan to consume nothing but water. They're demanding that the county shut down the Hennepin Energy Recovery Center, or HERC. In 2023, Hennepin County officials passed a resolution saying the HERC will be closing between 2028 and 2040. These protesters want additional action to ensure there's an exact date, even going inside the building to try to get the attention of county commissioners. Those going on hunger strike are working with doctors as they take the drastic step.
Our neighborhoods are not a dumping ground. Our lungs are not collateral. Our lives are not negotiable.
A spokesperson for county government says they recently passed a resolution reaffirming their plan to repurpose this facility, saying that legally they can't rely on landfills alone. But again, they're citing that 12-year window, which protesters here say is a bit too vague and too long for them to wait.
Number 2 today, a judge has ordered the federal government to turn over unredacted evidence related to the killing of Renee Good by an ICE agent. That evidence will be used in a different case involving the same agent. Good was shot in her vehicle by ICE agent Jonathan Ross. That happened back in January at the height of the ICE surge in Minneapolis. Ross was involved in another incident, however, months earlier. And that is the case that has a judge ordering Good's files be released. In this earlier incident, Ross was dragged by a car during an attempted arrest. Roberto Munoz Guatemala was the man driving that vehicle. He was arrested and convicted for assaulting Ross last June. But now Munoz Guatemala is appealing, and he requested the file on the Good investigation as part of his own case. Federal agencies have until May 1st to turn over the evidence.
For your third thing to know today, I want you to take a listen to this.
We moved closer to Iran, to a deeply unsafe area that was a known target.
A shocking conversation with a United States soldier who survived a drone strike. It's the same drone strike that killed Master Sergeant Nicole Amer from White Bear Lake last month in Kuwait. At least one other soldier from Minnesota and one from Wisconsin were among the dozens hurt. During an exclusive interview with CBS News, that surviving soldier, who wants to remain anonymous, tells us that Army leadership knew they were at risk, but claims they failed to protect them. The U.S. soldier was part of a crew of about 60 troops stationed at the installation in Kuwait. They were tasked with managing the movement of equipment, munitions, and personnel across the Middle East. The soldier told CBS's Jonah Kaplan that his unit's leadership ordered them to move to the post ahead of the war. He says despite known intelligence showing it was on a list of potential Iranian drone targets.
We moved closer to Iran, to a deeply unsafe area that was a known target.
So what was the reason that you were told for why you needed to be there?
I don't think there was a good reason ever articulated.
The attack was Iran's deadliest strike against the U.S. in 5 weeks of war, killing 6 American soldiers and injuring dozens more. A spokesperson for the Pentagon declined to comment on the soldiers' claims, citing an active investigation. We also received a reaction from Minnesota Congresswoman Kelly Morrison, who said in part, quote, "The Trump administration is putting our service members' lives at risk with no plan, no strategy, and incompetent civilian leaders. This war and Pete Hegseth's tenure need to end," end quote.
Now to your fourth thing to know today, more guilty pleas in the Feeding Our Future fraud case. This is the final group charged in the scheme that began a domino effect of fraud investigations in Minnesota. WCCO's Jennifer Mayerly has the information.
All 7 were charged with taking millions of dollars from the program meant to feed children during the COVID pandemic. According to documents, it started when Ikram Yusuf Mohammed began working as a consultant for Feeding Our Future. She brought family members and friends into the fold. Her husband, Shakur Abdusakam, enrolled a food site as part of the program. So did her sister, Aisha Hussein, mom Fadumo Yusuf, and friend Sarah Osman. Her brother Suleiman and Gandhi Mohammed were also part of the scheme. All have now pleaded guilty. Documents allege some of the money meant for kids went to rent and personal spending, including furniture, vacations, eating out, and near daily DoorDash deliveries.
And Johnny, we heard Jen mention one of her brothers, Gandhi Mohammed, who we found out just yesterday pleaded guilty to stealing $1 million in federal funds in the Feeding Our Future fraud case. He pleaded guilty to money laundering just yesterday.
And Maria, this case, I mean, it has been going on for years. And we heard Jen just describe, again, like you mentioned, the final group charged. It seems like we're getting closer to finally some resolutions in the case. Those are the 4 things to know today. Let's check in on our weekend forecast.
Happy Friday. Next Weather Meteorologist Adam Del Rosso checking in. We are going to notice some clouds increasing as we head through tonight as our next storm system gets closer for us this weekend. But I think we're dry tonight. Temperatures not falling too far. Will generally be in the upper 30s to kick off the weekend. We head into our day tomorrow. Those clouds continue to move on in. There will be some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder as we head toward the afternoon hours for the metro. Temperatures will be back in the mid-50s before Sunday. We jump up into the 70s with some of those showers and perhaps a few storms lingering through the morning.
And now, here's more to know.
National Guard members are in Winona County right now after a cyber attack earlier this week impacted its ability to deliver services. Their cyber protection team also helped during a similar attack in St. Paul last July. Now, experts say this really comes down to resources, the fact that local governments can't just shut down. A state report shows these attacks are happening more often and becoming even more sophisticated. The county detected a ransomware attack on Tuesday. They had to ask for help from a specialized cybersecurity and recovery team. This is the second attack Winona County has faced this year. County leaders believe the attacks were carried out by different cyber criminals. The county's emergency management director, Ben Klinger, today talked about how the National Guard has stepped in.
They provided us 15 IT experts from their cybersecurity team that are working hand in hand with our IT department, so that greatly augments our staff. Also, they provide quite a bit of expertise.
And today, county officials said some services are still offline and delays are expected. But thankfully, emergency services, including 911, are still working. The investigation into who did this attack is still ongoing.
Over in Minneapolis, the jobs of 2 safety leaders in the city could be in jeopardy right now. The Minneapolis City Council voted against reappointing Community Safety Commissioner Todd Barnett. His job is to oversee city, fire, police, 911, and other emergency services. Mayor Jacob Fry is vetoing the council's decision, fighting to keep Barnett in the job he first took on in 2023. During yesterday's vote, Fry accused councilors of playing politics.
The vote that happened today was neither about Todd Barnett's qualifications, nor was it about his record. The vote that took place today was about vote trading and political gamesmanship.
Barnett says he will take time to speak with his family, but says he's not walking away. Meanwhile, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara is facing questions over recent conduct complaints and being $20 million over budget last year. Fry says O'Hara's nomination will be coming soon, and we will, of course, follow that situation as well and how the council responds.
A beloved summer tradition is now in trouble. This comes after $30,000 worth of equipment was stolen from a water show team. Every summer for more than 30 years, the Midwest ski otters have brought fun and entertainment to Little Goose Lake, which is right near White Bear Lake. But this year, a theft left them without key equipment needed for the show to go on. Kirk Carpenter, the treasurer of the show team, says they found out the performance docks, the stage, the bleachers, they were all taken this week when they started going over inventory.
It's a big hit to all of a sudden find out that a lot of your equipment's gone, it's been taken, and you got to scramble to figure out how we can get the money.
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, that would be crazy because they probably put everything in a shed for the winter and don't come back until the summer when they need to start practice again. And the water on the lake is not ice.
That's so brutal, too. I mean, for a small operation like this, that's a huge deal.
It really is. The team did send up a GoFundMe to help meet their deadline of mid-May. And as of noon today, I checked, they have raised more than $10,000.
So they're a third of the way there. They have till May.
They have till May.
Maria, any weekend plans? What are you up to?
Honestly, not a lot planned.
Well, if you're looking for some cultured fun this weekend, you may want to head to the International Festival of Minnesota.
We celebrate different cultures around the Twin Cities area, and we have food options, and we have bazaar booths, and we have dancing, and we have cultural exhibits. So you can really deep dive into the cultures that your neighbors bring into our community.
That was Courtney Sylvan with the International Festival of Minnesota. She's the operations director, and she was just giving you a taste of what's happening this weekend. It's at the River Center in St. Paul. That's where they'll host 1,000 performers, and they'll showcase 67 different nations and ethnic communities. It's happening tonight until 9 p.m., and then tomorrow, which is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That sounds like fun.
Oh, all day, too, tomorrow. That's awesome.
Yeah, more information on that, just head to their website. It's ifestmn.org.
If you were at Target Field as the Twins kicked off their 2026 season, you could get some free tickets. That's because the team wants to show some support for the fans who supported them during a very memorable opening day.
That was really memorable. If you were there, yeah.
You probably remember the power went out, right? It was raining, so the fans had to wait out in the rain. Freezing cold. They had to wait like an hour or more to get into the stadium. So not a great opener for fans, but we did win.
They won, yeah,
which is
and
great.
The beer was cheap.
The beer was cheap. Absolutely. So as a thank you from the team, they're offering anyone who bought tickets through them to get a game on them. The tickets will be good for Friday, April 17th versus Cincinnati. People should get an email from the team to get their tickets. There will also be a pregame happy hour, Johnny, from 5 to 7 p.m. with music from Tim Mahoney, along with $2 beers and hot dogs.
That will get me out to the stadium.
Right, I know.
Nice weather, some cheap dogs and beers. Who can say no to that?
No one.
And speaking of the Twins, I'm kind of shocked. They just completed a 4-game sweep of the Tigers, Maria.
Wow.
So they're over 500 on the season now, 7-6 so far. Now they head to Canada. Yeah, they're in Toronto. A 3-game series begins tonight. The Wolves, let's get to basketball. They are locked into the Western Conference 6th seed. Now, they're playing in Houston tonight, but the final 2 games, they don't really mean that much because they're already locked into the 6th seed, so they're just trying to get healthy now. Now, here are the 3 teams that they could play in round 1.
Okay.
Denver Nuggets,
okay,
Houston Rockets, or the LA Lakers.
All right. Those are all great teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Let's get to hockey. The Frost, they're back in action tomorrow. Yeah, it's been a while. They host the New York Sirens in Grand Casino Arena in St. Paul. It's a noon puck drop, and the Frost are one of 3 teams to have already clinched a playoff spot in the league.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course they have. They're amazing.
And the Wild lost last night in Dallas. We talked about that was a really big game. So it's all but certain they will be on the road in the first round, but they'll play Dallas, and they lost 5-4, so it was a pretty even matchup.
Oh, that's not okay. That's not too bad.
We'll be all right.
We'll be all right. But we won't have that home field advantage. Home
ice, same thing.
Home ice, yeah, okay.
Which I don't even think is that big of a deal in my sports opinion.
Okay,
but
why not?
You know, we always lose in the first round anyway, so who cares where it is?
If history proves itself, then yeah, we're not even going to win in the first anyway.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
Okay, here's my favorite topic. The Artemis II mission. It's coming to an end, Johnny.
We're back.
We're almost back. The Orion spacecraft is expected to splash down in the Pacific Ocean today, just off the coast of San Diego. So if you're listening to this after around 6:30 p.m. our time, they hopefully have already safely splashed down.
And you've probably watched it on WCCO.
Yeah, hopefully you did. It's we're having live coverage on WCCO starting at 6:30. Now, the Artemis II journey around the far side of the moon is obviously monumental in like history of humankind and space exploration. But, you know, the mission could also bring back some benefits for everyday life here on Earth.
Really?
Like
how?
Better selfies.
What?
Comfortable sneakers.
What does that have to do with
basic
the mission?
household appliances?
Enlighten me.
They all trace back to NASA experiments.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. I actually didn't either. I read this today and I'm like, it makes sense. The experiments and all the studies we do to go into space can really help us out here and have a big push for innovation for just everyday items like UV reflective lenses. So sunglasses, like the good kind. They were created out of efforts to improve the visors on astronaut helmets.
That is interesting. And that makes sense.
I mean, we really need
up there
sun protection. You don't have any clouds. Water purification for astronauts. Now it helps filter water in swimming pools and in your house.
Interesting. Okay.
This was my favorite fact. The rubber molding for safer flight helmets was later adapted to add shock-absorbing cells in Nike trainers.
Wow.
Right?
That's super interesting too. It's weird all the places that honestly the innovation has gone to.
Just the little things that help us in everyday life here on Earth that are actually helping explore more of space as well. I love it. It's so cool.
You're all in. But what are you going to do now that the mission is going to be done? What are you going to watch?
I guess I'll have to watch golf or something. God. Just kidding. It's the Masters this weekend.
Week.
That'll be fun.
But you've been live streaming it. I mean, we talked about yesterday. And you
the
watched,
Artemis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I was watching the Masters yesterday. So, you know what?
I wonder, there's got to be something golf related too that NASA has helped innovate.
I believe
some
it.
Technology in the club or something.
Hey, you know what? I'll do a deep dive because I guess for the past 50 years, NASA has produced this magazine called Spin-Off, and it highlights a bunch of Earth tech that really started off as innovations for different space programs.
I'm always learning from you.
I'm always learning from you. Oh my gosh.
I think the people have turned us off now.
Yeah, probably. It's a Friday. They're like, I am done. I'm going home. So are we. We're done after this. So please have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for listening here to 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli, and we're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Maria Lizignoli, and this podcast comes to you from the WCCO podcast studio.
I'm Johnny Connor, and this is where you'll find the latest news of the day with us on 4 Things to Know.
I'm Mariel Mose, and I bring you the stories behind the female athletes redefining the game on women in sports.
I'm Adam Duxter. Join me for a deep dive into faith and what it means to Minnesotans around the state on Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.